Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back to another Railroader video. I feel like I always say this, but it's been a hot minute since I've been in Railroader. It really has. Been messing around with Run 8 and a couple other things lately, but alas, here we are. We've got a new mod locomotive brought to us by Green Ninja 2404, who has brought us the other locomotive. I can't remember exactly what it was, but there's another locomotive in Railroader built by Green Ninja himself. This one looks to be kind of the same ilk, but something very interesting and new. So this is the 2442 Skookum, which is a mallet type locomotive built by Baldwin in 1909. Now, it was used primarily in the Pacific Northwest for logging duties, initially constructed for Tennessee's Little River Railroad until it became too problematic for them to run on their trackage, leading to derailments, many of those, by the way, deemed too heavy for the railroad there overall. So the Little River sent it back to Baldwin, who in turn built a smaller unit for them to run, and that worked out well. Now, this original unit here, the first one they sent, was sold after being sent back to Baldwin to Oregon's Blind Slough, a logging company in 1910, who removed the 126 unit number in place of Skookum, which is a Chinook word, which is a native people of North America, for strong, powerful, reliable. And that it was for the PNW and all the companies up there. So the unit worked for a subsidiary of them on the Columbia River Belt Line Railway, where it ran well, very well to fit its needs. Now, the unit changed hands numerous times over the years, many decades in the PNW, eventually derailing and left to die on a muddy embankment line side. The tender hit a broken piece of track. She tipped over. She laid there and died. The railroad left it there. It would have been too expensive to pull it up and scrap it, so they said, what the hell, we'll just leave it in the mud. A rail fan, someone really into the thing, eventually came along, started piecemealing it back together. The Niles Canyon Railway eventually got a hold of it and ran it several times in 2021, I think, and it still resides there to this very day, although not running currently, I think. All right then, folks, here she is in the game. The 2442 Skookums. That's what I named mine. Yes, very original, I know. Fully aware. Anyway, jokes aside, this thing looks pretty good. I like the Baldwin green on it. It's not over the top. It's got some nice weathering and texturing to it, like Green Ninja's other locomotive. I still can't remember what the heck it was. It was the Illinois Central. It'll come to me when I'm done recording. But anyway, it looks about like the same as that. So it's got the nice kind of rustic, worn look, and it doesn't really look like the other locomotives within the game, that kind of, you know, overly shiny, you know, almost plasticky look that some of them seem to have. So it looks pretty darn good overall. It is very workable. I've got it hooked up to some skelly cars right now. The only thing I don't like is how the tender trucks look totally different than the rest of the locomotive. They're obviously just taken straight from the other, you know, trucks already within the game, which, you know, I guess, which is fine. It is a mod. It was done for free and shared to all for free, which is very cool. So, you know, it's understandable, but it would be nice if it kind of was matched, you know, weather-wise to the drivers and the leading and the trailers and all that. But anywho, weathering overall does look nice. It works as should with most of the locomotives in Railroader. You got your marker lights you can dingle around with here. Of course, the light works as well. Make sure I click on it here. So everything should work. I've got the old Baldwin whistle on here because what the hell, just the original Baldwin 3-chime. Because it kind of fits. I think that's what Niles Canyon, what it was running with on Niles Canyon, I think. It sounds very similar to a Baldwin 3-chime. You may notice that I ain't got no whistle. It's not a locomotive fault. That is a Schnauzerpowers fault, because I did not update the whistle mod that I have, which adds actual whistles as well, not just the sounds themselves. So if you notice that, that's a me thing. That's not a locomotive thing. It does some freaky stuff. It's like some Doctor Strange looking stuff. But anywho, it does not have the pull as well for the bell. Either it does, and it's like kind of routed down in this little doohickey here, which I think it is. So you may think, you know, there's no rope pull, but I'll go ahead and hit the bell so you can see the animation. So that is pretty neat that it's actually routed through there, and it's not like the original kind of, you know, pull all around. The sand domes look good. I like them chunky pipes headed down. You know, the cylinders look good as well. This one is green, so as it was restored, like the caps right up here are green, and they have like a pinstriping. This one up here doesn't seem to have it. Maybe it's just overly weathered from use. Of course, this is not IRL. This is in the game, Railroader. But you can most definitely use it on a lot of your logging lines. I mean, it's perfect. I was messing around with it within the Walker branch here. And then, of course, you've got the Connolly branch down here. I mean, you could use it wherever the hell you want, but it fits perfect on these logging branches. And then you've got, where's that one at? Where's the big and up by Roto, or no, sorry, Topton. So Graham County. I mean, you can't really do much with it up there, but I mean, you know, it's perfect for logging. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. It's neat because it's articulated, and it's a little baby articulated locomotive, which is kind of cool. We'll hop in the cab, and then we'll run this thing a little bit. Modeling wise, again, just want to look at it again. Does look very, very nice. I mean, everything seems to be up to par as far as I can tell, which is very, very cool. It looks appropriate. Very appropriate. There's markers on the back as well. It is fully customizable too, so we'll go ahead and click on the Tinder. Customize. You got your colors. You know, you can change the lettering color, all that, the name, whistles if you got them, all that good stuff. But I do like that Baldwin green. It's not over the top. It's just kind of a nice, subtle, almost like a forest green dark. It spices up your map a little bit. I mean, it's a good-looking locomotive. It's cool. It's one of those funky ones. It's like big, but not. If that makes any sense. You got your Baldwin builder's plates on the sides and the front as well. Appropriate number boards on the side of the headlamp. The stack looks legit. I mean, pretty much everything looks legit with this thing. So kudos to the modelers there. You've got some new coal in here as well. That's not your original coal. This thing does hold quite a bit. And it was initially a coal burner, and I think they, you know, of course, moved it over to a oil burner. IRL in modern day, but it holds 8 tons of coal and I'm going to say 4,000 gallons of agua. You've got markers on the back, which are interchangeable, and then your headlamp as well. We'll get inside. This is definitely, we'll get our lantern on here. This is definitely spiced up. You got the square knobs on there, which is pretty cool. The gauges don't have any needles as of right now, but I mean, Railroader's never been super in depth with that kind of thing to begin with, so I'm not super mad about it. Let's get in a seat. You can actually crack the hatch open and close. Same with the windows. You can see the cab light is on as well. This one here, and then you got the front doors that are operable as well. We'll do that. Let's hit that bell. So it must be a valve. The bell must have been a valve in this thing, the way it's set up. Not totally sure. Anywho, let's run this son of a gun down the track a little bit and watch her do her thing. Watch these articulated drivers in motion. So they're 48-inch drivers. This thing weighed roughly a little over 240,000 pounds total weight, 200 psi bullet pressure, and put down about 24,500 pounds tractive effort. So, you know, she was a bit of a chonker. For logging, it was perfect. You know, where it ran and the duties that it did. Now, you will note in the game when you're playing it, which, by the way, I'll link down below where you can go and find this thing. I totally glazed right over that. Sorry. But I'll link down below where you can go and find the things. Fairly easy install, as per usual, a lot of this stuff. But you will note, if you set this thing to AI or just, you know, slap the reverser all the way forward and crack the throttle, it will wheel slip. It will, say that 3 times fast. I can't say it once. It will wheel slip, so you'll need to articulate it, you know, power-wise, putting some power down, but you can see it's doing its thing, and the animation looks very cool. I do like cylinder cocks both sides, as it's got 4 cylinders, which is pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and give her some juice. Let's see if I can get that wheel slip going here. There you go. So now they're out of sync, which looks awesome. Let's just run Skookums down the track a little bit here. You can see oiling is required on the drivers, just like the other stuff in game. And very neatly, I am still in the experimental branch and able to run this, as with most mods that I run. I just don't really mess with any map mods because there's so many, and I don't want to like piecemeal things, but I've seen a lot of excellent stuff. If there was just like one overall map mod that didn't add, you know, 50 track classification yards and just kind of stuck with, you know, assets and things like that on a whole, you know, scale, that would be amazing. But I haven't found anything like that personally. But who knows? You know, I'm hoping there'll be. I mean, the last update to the experimental branch was like early October, so almost a full month ago. By the way, today is Halloween. Happy Halloween. Enjoy your candy. I've already eaten half of what we are putting out tonight, because I am a fat bastard when it comes to sweet, sugary things, especially caramel. Oh, Werther's Originals, my love. I'm going to run that absolute red, and that's totally fine. It's good. Pull the reverser back some. Hop in the cab. Window back open. Hang out. We got a bit of a curve up here, and then we're going to go up the hill into the logging branch. Now, I didn't need to hit that because we're not going over that crossing up there. Let's slow down a little bit. This thing can pull plenty of cars. Now, with this branch we're going to, you've generally only got room for most locomotives of like 10 cars, I think. So you will need to spot and shuffle stuff around as needed. But this thing can go up, you know, grades no problem at all. I've got the reverser set at like 30%. We'll go ahead and crack this baby wide open. This is a badass looking little locomotive, I must admit. It's just, you know, it's a unique thing that was needed by the Little River in Tennessee for logging. It didn't work out for them, really, but it did for the Pacific Northwest. It's just cool that it's articulated. It's got all those drivers, and it can bend around. It's got a very, very low curve radius, like 5 or something like that. It's insane. She's slowing down a little bit, but I got the reverser in 30, so we'll bump it up to like 55. Crank the throttle hog a little bit. And she's chooching. Wrong headlight on. Look at the articulation in action. It's like a little big boy, as backwards as that sounds. But a very cool locomotive. Of course, you could use it on the main line. Do whatever the hell you want with it, as with a lot of games, a lot of train sims, any sim for that matter. But this thing is perfect for the logging branches. Heavy loads. And I'll link down below where you can go and find it, obviously. But I just wanted to bring it to anyone's attention that may not have known. If you want some extra spice in your railroader, here it is, guys. Go and get it. Link it down below. Hope you enjoyed the video, found it informative. And we'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.